Happy Thursday, Guitar Ensemble. I wish I could see you. I wish I could be there. But today I need to do my job for my school, which is to help pick a new principal for West Fargo High School and make sure it's a good one that will be good for all of us. So I'm doing that job today. So in my absence, I'm going to have you fill out a study guide for a written test that I'm going to give you next Wednesday. I'm planning to do that test next Wednesday. Shouldn't be too hard, but you will need to think a little bit. You will need to study a little bit. And this seems like a good day to go through that since I can't be there to do music with you. This part is easy to do through video, I hope. So, yesterday, Wednesday, hopefully I showed you where the stack of study guides was going to be. And I hope that you have grabbed one. If not, please pause the video and go grab one. Please remember where I told you the study guides would be. They look like this. Guitar Ensemble written test study guide. I'm not sure if the video gets reversed on YouTube. I'm not sure. Anyway, this is what it looks like. Okay, so let's get to that. So please do the first section right now. The first section is knowing your note names and knowing how to play those notes, the fingering for those notes. So if you remember Every Good Boy Deserves Fudge for the line notes and FACE for the space notes, that will help. You can just write those letters down here. Or if you want to use your orange sheet that we use when we play songs from the Blue Book, you can do that. So please write those letters, and then also right underneath that, please write the little fraction that we like to use to delineate what string and what fret it is. So for example, this very first note is a low E, and that's played on string 4, fret 2. So you would write the letter E and then 4 over 2, a fraction of 4 over 2, which means string 4, fret 2. So please do that for all those notes right now. And then when you're done, I'm going to show you the correct answers. So feel free, by the way, to work with each other if you want to help each other or check your answers with somebody else before you check them out with me. All right, so whoever's in charge of the iPad or whatever you're using right now, please pause the video. All right, I'm back after your pause. Here are the correct answers. If that's not what you have, please write in the correct answers. Hopefully that's what you got. If not, write them in. And if you need to pause this, feel free to pause it to get those written in. Don't feel bad if you need to ask your substitute teacher to pause it. I'm going to hold it up for another 5 seconds. All right, let's move on. Next section is your chord diagrams. So some of these are fairly well-known chords, but I assume that you know the really well-known chords. I know that you know E minor, for example, so I didn't put E minor up there, but we got some fairly common chords like G and C. I just want you to write in the diagrams, like where do the fingers go? You do not have to do numbers. It's okay to just do dots if you want. Make sure in your bar chords, your bar G, the most common bar chord, and your bar B minor, the easiest bar chord, the easiest common bar chord in my opinion. Make sure you write in the curvy line or the straight line for the finger that's supposed to hold down more than one string. All right, so please write those in. It's okay if you want to look in your book if you need to, but hopefully you know them without. So please write in all of those. And just like we did before, I'm going to ask you to pause the video right now. While you do that, feel free to look in your book for the chord diagrams or ask each other, help each other. But please pause the video now and do that work. When you're done, when everybody's done writing in their diagrams, unpause. Okay, we're back. Here are the correct answers. If you've got anything that's not correct, please fix it so that you study the right stuff, because I want you to get a good grade. I'm going to hold this up for another 5 seconds. If that's not enough time, feel free to pause it or to look at your neighbor's paper if they're willing to share with you. This isn't for a grade. Your study guide is not for grade. All right, next page. Isn't this fun? Next page, knowing the parts of your guitar. So hopefully you remember this from Guitar 1, but I do think it's important to know the parts of the guitar, especially if you're looking to buy a guitar in your future and want to know what you're talking about and want to know what the specifications mean when you're reading about a guitar. Like if you're reading about one that's for sale on Craigslist or something, you should know what they're talking about. All right, so whatever way works for you, make yourself, an arrow to the guitar part, or you can just label it if you want. For the things that are fairly big, like the body or the neck, please don't just draw an arrow just to one specific tiny little part. If it's a big part, please make like a bracket or a circle or something like that, so that I know that you know the actual size of that thing. All right, so please make yourself some notes on that right now, and then I'm going to show you the correct answers to that. Okay, pause. There's what I'm hoping to see from you. Things like the body, I'm making a big bracket. The fretboard is the whole board that's got frets on it. The neck is just from here to here. That's kind of confusing. The fretboard and the neck are similar. All right. The rosette and the sound hole are not exactly the same. Make sure you can make that clear to me. The top is this whole part here, so at least write the word top, or make it clear that you understand that it's this whole part. Okay, that's that. Next, I just want you to know how long notes last when you see them in a note song, like from the Blue Book. So this part you don't need to do anything, just make sure you understand. The whole note, the one that looks like a circle, that's 4 beats, and so on. Dotted half note is 3 beats. We don't see that very often, but that's a good thing to know. These 2 notes together last 1 beat. So on your test, don't write like half a beat. That's not the answer. I'm telling you that those 2 notes connected to each other together last 1 beat. Okay, hopefully you understand that. All right, next is something you need to do. Just write in the dot on these spots. Where is first string, 3rd fret? Where is that? Write in a dot for that, and so on. Okay, please do that right now, and pause the video. All right. Here are the answers. Hopefully you unpaused, obviously. There are the correct answers. That should be pretty easy. All right. The strings, you need to know the letter names and the number names of your strings. So a lot of people get confused when they see this picture. It's as though you're looking at a guitar that's in front of you that somebody else is holding. Notice the pick guard is on the bottom here. Pick guard is always on the bottom underneath the sound hole. So string 6 is up here, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And remember those letters for standard tuning. Eating apples daily gets boring eventually, or Eddie ate dynamite, goodbye Eddie. Those are good mnemonic devices for that. All right, there will be an extra credit question on your test. It'll be similar to the kinds of questions that I ask you for YouTube Tuesday assignments. All right, shouldn't really have to study for that, but you will have to think and be introspective, so to speak, on your test. Okay, that's it. That's the stuff you need to know. So, as I've told you before, my students who study a little bit tend to get A's on this test. My students who study a lot tend to get A's on this test. My students who don't study at all don't tend to get A's on their written test. So you need to study a little bit probably if you want to do well on this test, but it doesn't have to be a whole bunch. Okay, so that's the study guide. For the rest of class, experience tells me that guitar ensemble students are really good at just finding stuff to practice. So I'm asking you to just find something to practice either in your purple book or on your iPad if your sub is okay with that. And substitute teacher, I would ask you if the students are using their iPads now to find music to play, please check and make sure that's what they're doing and not playing a game or something like that. These guys are pretty on the ball. They should be able to find something to practice. If anybody wants to practice with somebody else in class, as long as your teacher's okay with that, I don't mind if you go sit with somebody else or even go sit in a corner to get away from people if you want to have a little bit more quiet, as long as your teacher's okay with that. Okay, so please find something to practice until just before the bell, and I will see you tomorrow. Thank you very much, everybody. I miss you.